6 years ago, Richard and Sarah quit the rat race in Leeds to live the good life in Tuscany. Now the family are on a mission to try and become totally self-sufficient. This summer, they're betting the farm on a new horse breeding business.
Get your baby in there. Financially speaking, it's everything that we've got, really.
And cashing in on their experience by helping the next wave of Brits find their own Italian dream.
There you go. One view coming up.
Just above the sleepy town of Pescia, it's already 38 degrees on Richard and Sarah's farm. Sadly, as 8 acres of terraces, 350 olive trees and 12 animals won't look after themselves, everybody's already up and at it. For Sarah, however, this is business and pleasure. Moving to Tuscany has helped her realise a lifelong ambition.
I've always loved horses and always wanted to work with horses. When we were in the UK, I had my own horse who I've had since he was a yearling, but we could never have afforded to breed horses or do anything like that in England. We didn't have the money or the space. So being able to do it over here is a complete dream come true.
And these aren't any old horses. As part of this summer's big financial push towards self-sufficiency, Sarah's attempting to turn her hobby into a vital money spinner.
The specific type of horses that I have, are called Morgans, and they're an American breed. And there aren't very many of them in England, and there certainly aren't very many of them in Italy. Very, very few. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to make a business breeding them and selling them to Italians.
And while Sarah throws her energy into the livestock, it's down to Richard to battle the Tuscan vegetation. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. And he does at least have a slight advantage.
Anybody that says that they move to a foreign land for serious reasons is kidding themselves and anybody else. You move so you can buy toys like this and just go mad. And nobody can tell you not to because it's our land.
As well as working the land, Richard and Sarah are always looking for other ways to boost the coffers. One scheme they've hatched is acting as property finders for other Brits looking for their own piece of Tuscany. Richard works with owners and agents, and for every sale he brokers, he earns himself a crucial bonus. Today, he's showing an investment property to Ian Morton and his secretary Claire, who've got a maximum budget of €100,000 and are on the hunt for a bargain with a view. Richard's hoping this tumble-down farm with over 5 acres of land and a small cottage might be just the ticket.
Fingers crossed. Keys are here.
I love the arrangements they've got out here. It's fab, isn't it?
Keys should have been there.
Oh dear.
No.
Not a good start.
So we're off to a flight.
No, we finally got here. Give us a sec. Let's just give her a call.
A locked door would put most people off.
We can always just peep through the windows.
Fortunately for Ian and Claire, Richard's not easily discouraged, especially when there's money at stake.
Oops. Oh, we're in now. That'll do. A little bit embarrassing to turn up and have no key, especially when it's like a 45-minute drive into the middle of nowhere and you get there and go, there's no key. Oh, should we go back then? A little bit annoying as well, but at least they can get to see this bit that's done. For Ian, you know, it's an investment, this. It's important that he sees this bit as a potential, you know, good generator of income. Our Chestnut House, we could have rented out a dozen times a week, you know, 12 months of the year. So I know that this is a fantastic business opportunity. OK, guys, we're in. Do you want to come and have a look? A bit of...
broken in, then?
Yeah.
That's not the technical term, is it? You just forced entry.
Yeah. Forced entry, that's a lesser... I'll just be tagged, you know, that's all. Come and have a look.
Right.
Oh, this is very pleasant.
I'll open the window.
Yeah,
Let's go. Bit of light on the job.
It's nice, is this? Decent size as well for your living area.
For a little holiday.
So what sort of rent would you get for something like this, then?
I do, weekly, you're probably looking around 350, 450 euros a week. You know, 350 probably been on the low side.
Across the way, then, what sort of rent would you get for that if it was...
The sort of farmhouse done, I would say probably in the region of 600, 700, maybe even a bit more. You know, if there was a little swimming pool.
So it's like €1,000.
€1,000 would be...
A week?
Yeah.
At least.
At least, yeah, for both of them.
Back at the farm, Sarah's anxiously preparing for a new arrival. Her thoroughbred mare, Fuchsia, is due to give birth any day.
This is my first purebred Morgan foal, and it's what we've worked for. We bought the horses in the UK, we've studied bloodlines, we've been very, very careful. So this is like the first fruit of our labour as far as that's concerned.
There's a huge amount riding on this foal. Sarah and Richard have risked a large part of their savings, kick-starting their breeding business.
As long as everything goes smoothly, it'll be fantastic. Financially, if I can bear to sell this foal, it will generate me about £4,000. That'll pay for the horses for the whole of the year, and financially speaking, it's everything that we've got really, as far as the horses are concerned. Fuchsia is due any minute, and I've just got her out to see how she's doing, and she's obviously a bit agitated. I'd noticed earlier that she was, but I thought it was the flies, and she's kicking at her tummy and looking a bit miffed, to say the least. Now I have a look, and she's got mucus and a bit bloody, and so that means that usually within 24 to 48 hours she should be having a foal. So fingers crossed for tonight. That's one pissed off horse.
Down the valley, Richard's moved to phase 2 of the big cell. Ian's no stranger to renovation, a fact Richard's hoping will now help him overlook the somewhat rustic state of the farmhouse.
I knew there'd be a bit of ladder climbing involved. It's like going to site.
Obviously, the barn next door and this bit,
Yeah.
clearly in need of a bit of TLC.
Quite a bit, yeah. Falling down, basically, isn't it?
All right. Drama queen. Go on. Put a bit of negative spin on it, why don't you?
Falling over, isn't it?
The good thing about it, you'll know as a builder, it's beyond repair, and it's far cheaper to take it down and start again. You don't have to rebuild it in stone.
It's not going to fall over now, though, is it?
Well, we're not going in that bit.
Oh, good.
Well, you can go in that bit if you want, but...
No, I'd rather not.
But if we go in here,
Okay.
we can get through into the main house upstairs. So, and I can then open the front door as well. So if you want to get stung to high heavens...
Oh, God.
What are you doing?
Someone's just bit my foot. I think stilettos would have been a wiser choice, yeah. I've been far too practical.
Just mind your head on the beam
Besides
coming up.
that spider.
Can you make it?
I think I might go into window cleaning. Could see a new profession path coming up.
Needs a lot of work doing to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's a mild understatement. I think potential's the positive expression we're looking for with this one.
The Italians don't want places like this, by and large. They don't want to get their hands dirty, they don't want to get their car tyres dirty coming out into the countryside, so that's why it's sort of a part finished project.
What sort of price is it, then?
They're asking 115,
Right.
115,000 euros.
Is it offers around 115 or is it 115?
There's a saying in Italy that everything is for sale, which is very much worth remembering. Obviously, you don't want to take the mickey and say, well, I'll give you 30,000.
No, but if you came in at 90.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. Tell you what, I'll get the plans that have been approved. I'll just grab them out of the van.
That crack is a worry.
He's gone now. So, what do you think to it, really, then?
There are points that concern me.
I think it's not structurally sound. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good if it all falls over.
You know, you can have a beautiful view and you can have all this woodland.
But you don't actually want it in the house, do you?
No, not particularly.
But don't tell him. You'll upset him.
Okay.
You know, the view out there is just not spectacular. And I don't really like it, I must admit.
It's no.
not too much like hard work.
Is that the general consensus then?
The general consensus is no.
No. Okay. Onwards and upwards.
So it's a nice try, but sadly no cigar for Richard. If he wants to earn his bonus, he needs to find Ian a room with a view. Meanwhile, with so much hanging on the safe delivery of Fuchsia's foal, Sarah's keen for it to be over soon. But as the summer heat steadily rises, everybody's playing an uncomfortable waiting game.
Oh, darling. What do you think, babes? Tonight? I really feel for her in this heat. I've had 2 babies in high summer like this, and The feeling of just being enormously fat and ready to pop, yet it's so hot you can't even think about moving, never mind having babies. I really do feel sorry for her. It must be any minute, it really must. I would bet, not perhaps my bottom dollar, but I would bet that she's going to have it tonight.
It's dawn, and in the stable something is stirring. After her 11-month pregnancy, Fuchsia has finally given birth to her foal.
Well, I got up at 4 o'clock just to come and check because I could hear them sort of moving around. Fuchsia was clearly very uncomfortable, so I ran and got Sarah and said, come quickly. And by the time we got back down, she'd actually laid down at the back of the stable, and the kind of head and the front front legs were out. And thankfully, everything's gone fine, actually, isn't it? Except for the little one that says my legs are just too long. Who packed me these? Stilt legs.
But things seem to have taken an unexpected turn.
This little chap is supposed to be a purebred Morgan. His dad is supposed to be the same dad as my stallion. It should be quite a large value cash-wise as well. However, I'm having a slight parental question here with the colouring because this isn't the colour we were expecting. He was expected to come out palomino, chestnut, anything in between, but not two-tone. Two-tone means that possibly there's been somebody else playing around with Fuchsia that shouldn't have been.
Yes.
So in actual fact, it might be worth knackle.
Sarah's putting a brave face on things, but with most of their savings invested in this supposedly purebred little fella, the whole business is off to a shaky start.
This is why I'm lucky that I don't know anything about them, because I just think he looks fabulous.
No, he does
Anyway,
look fabulous. He's a super boy. He just wasn't what I was expecting. It's like Leo popping out black, which wouldn't have been what you were expecting.
Oh, that would have been a turn up for the books, wouldn't it? That.
His mummy is a Morgan and his daddy is somebody else completely. Although the somebody else completely is a beautiful horse, thank goodness. A lovely, lovely horse. Just not the right chuffing breed. It's not a great start for a Morgan breeding programme. A purebred Morgan colt would be worth about €5,000, and he isn't.
With Sarah's breeding programme rapidly going down the pan, the pressure's on Richard more than ever to bring home the bacon. This part of northern Tuscany is one of the few remaining areas where it's still possible to pick up a bargain. Richard's hoping the next property, nestled high in the ancient village of Serrano, will be just what Ian and Claire are after.
I know you wanted a view. Yeah. This one, tremendous.
You're being very ominous about this one.
Views are plenty.
Promise.
Look at that then. How about that? Look at that. Not bad, eh?
Not bad.
That's just one.
Not bad.
That's just one for starters. Go on, it's just down here.
But do we get it out of the house? That's the question.
Hey, this is actually the oldest part of the village of Serrano. This is like the original bit,
Right.
which will have. They were here as sort of fortified areas as lookouts. So you wouldn't have a lookout if you didn't have a fabulous view. Number one on the list was views. Well, actually, number one on the list was being able to get into it.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Here we go. He's only got a key. It's like the jailer. He's got some.
He's cut me deep. Cut me deep. There. You don't forgive him. Not forgiving you.
Is that close enough to the bow?
You one's from up
Does
north.
it work though? Does it work, the key?
Oh.
Hey, we're in.
We're in.
Come on. Work last time. We are in.
Here we go.
Come on in.
Right then, do your bit.
All right. Let's go and have
Come
a
on,
sleep.
he's gagging
Come on,
to have a
come
look
on.
at this view.
Come on then. There you go. One view coming up.
Tasty.
What do you think? Will that do?
That'll do.
Just
Yeah, that'll do.
Just
If you make the cheque payable to A.R. Turnbull.
Okay.
That's spot on, isn't it, for what you've been wanting?
Come on then, there's more.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Thrillers again, then.
Oh, Mrs. I'll get a bit more light in here as well.
Yeah.
This would be the other side of the house.
Oh,
There you go.
It's like being inside a postcard.
it's fantastic.
It is.
How much is it then?
The asking price was 120,
Right.
120,000, but the lady that's selling it just wants to sell it, so she's reduced the price to 89. But even if it's a bargain, it could be even more of a bargain, so
Use your manly charm.
they know where you live. And the bells.
Bells.
So, what do you think?
This is
Great.
It seems Richard struck pay dirt.
I made up, actually. I made up for them because it's clearly something that Ian wants to do. And the Tuscan things you dream about are here.
We're done.
Fantastic.
We're
So
all viewed out.
we'll go in at 75 then, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic. Let me, shake on it. Fantastic.
Richard's finder's fee is looking pretty secure, which is just as well, because back at the farm, the financial implications of the mix-up with Fuchsia's foal are starting to hit home.
I was just on a high, really, to start with, because he was born and he was OK and it all went OK. But then the more it sank in that financially we were a lot worse off than I was hoping to be, I started getting a bit miffed. Financially, it's quite a big problem. I had 2 potential buyers already for the unborn foal. It's a long time, a year, to be put back. I don't have a lot of horses giving birth and it doesn't matter. She was like the one big chance this year. My first as well, my first purebred Morgan. Well, obviously it wasn't.
Sarah's decided to contact the UK breeder she bought Fuchsia from and demand an explanation.
We're not rich people, we don't have a lot of money to spend, but the little money that we did have to spend, we spent it on the horses. And it's a fair few thousand that I've just lost. So I'll send it to the woman I bought her off and see what she comes back with. The recompense I want for this error is to have the correct stallion sperm sent down, frozen next year when she's in season, and we'll try again. It's quite an expensive process. It's not an easy or a cheap thing for her to do. What was easy and what was cheap was for her just to cover the mare with the right flaming stallion.
Meanwhile, Ian and Claire await news from Richard as to whether their cheeky offer of €75,000 has been accepted by the owner.
Hello? So she wants €80,000. We guess that's probably what she was going to do. So, I mean, I would go ahead with that, but I think if we could just go back and just try it on a little bit more and, maybe just go in between the two and see if she goes with that. All right then. Cheers. If she says 77,500, I'll definitely buy it. I mean, if she says no, I'll still buy it anyway, so... Shh! She might be listening. But we'll see.
Richard's keen to secure Ian his perfect Tuscan hideaway and his bonus, so gets onto the owner right away.
Ok, va bene. Benissimo, benissimo. Ok. Bene, grazie mille, grazie.
It's great news. The owner has finally settled on €78,500, well under Ian's budget. And Sarah is also closing in on her own deal. Desperate to claw back some money from the breeding disaster, she's decided to take her chances with Francesco, a notorious local Italian horse dealer, and is grooming the foal ready for his visit this afternoon.
Fingers crossed I'll be able to sell Puzzle, despite him being half-bred Morgan rather than full-bred Morgan. The difference is the price. I won't be able to charge, well, I'll only be able to charge half as much. Puzzle! Come on, we're moving. Gotta go. The man's coming to see you. You can't just be laying around. She says, well, what do you expect? He doesn't want to be sold. Come on, then. You come, and then he'll get up. Go on, Puzzle. Good boy. Come on, let's show you off.
For a novice horse breeder like Sarah, this will be her first glimpse into the murky world of Italian horse trading.
I will have to learn to deal with horse dealers. I've never had to do it in the past. I'm not keen on the dealing thing, but the private market is very small. So what you need to do is get to know some dealers, and that gets the word about your type of horse, what quality your horses are. And so Francesco is my first attempt at getting to know some local dealer. Francesco is the quintessential horse dealer. He's a bit of a character. He's got a mission, and his mission is to make money out of horses, and that means that if you are selling horses, you ain't going to get a huge amount of slack from Francesco, so he'll probably give me financially a hard time if he does want to buy him. So unfortunately, I'm not holding out too much hope for the whole sale thing going on, but I don't want him to just go to anybody. It has to be to somebody worthwhile. It has to be somebody who's going to love him and look after him. We couldn't just sell him to anybody. He's so cute. He's so cute.
Ciao, Sara.
Come stai? Benissimo. Ti bisogna un nuovo cavallo? Lui è...
Mi interessa il tuo prodotto perché è molto bello.
Sì.
Lo guardo
Ecco.
e...
Questo puledro
Come
si
hai
chiama...
messo nome a questo campione?
Si chiama lui Puzzle.
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 Wow, Puzzle.
Sai?
È bellissimo.
Perché...
A me piace molto sto puledro, ha delle caratteristiche molto belle e mi interesserebbe comprarlo.
Benissimo.
Per portarlo a fare lo stallone nel mio range.
It's a result, but what's he going to make of the price?
Quanto vuoi? Dai.
5.000 euro.
Mi sta bene. Ok, lo compro per 5.000 perché ne vale molto di più.
Ma
Pensavo che mi chiedevi molto di più.
Va bene.
Davvero?
Vai così. In Inghilterra si fa... Ecco,
Come?
no, così. Va bene, grazie.
Grazie a te. Va bene, ok.
Grazie,
Ciao,
Francesco.
Ciao,
Ciao.
ciao.
Oh my God! Would you believe it? I just cannot believe that he's bought him. He just agreed straight away, which is never a great feeling, actually. Damn it, should have started at 10. Never mind, I'm happy. That's what I wanted. That's what I've got. Puzzle, my little man, my little sold man, my little cash sign. Come on, loves. Right. I'm not pushing all the way up the hill.
Next week, Richard and Sarah continue their quest to live off the land. They check out pigs,
Just look at all that crackling.
bees,
You have this instinctive feeling just to stay very still or run screaming, going, ah!
and the mother-in-law comes to stay, bringing some chickens with her.
A chicken fight already.
And there's major problems with pruning as Chateau Monty prepares for the lunar wine next, here on 4.